Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Welcome back. Okay, you guys know what's going to happen first. You did this last time. I want you guys to do this quiz, right? But this time, find somebody you don't know. Like, get up and move around. Find somebody you don't know from last semester. Introduce yourself and go over those questions. Go. Yeah, Jack, find somebody you don't know. Come on in. Morning.
My name's Chris Town. Morning. Minnesota. Favorite book? Hell yeah. Favorite food?
Professor?
Yes.
And future professional.
We're doing that. So find somebody and start asking those questions.
I'm on the wait list for the 11:30 class.
Okay.
But I wanted to show you that I want to.
You want to try and be in this one?
No, I want to be in the 11:30 class.
Oh, well, then come at 11:30.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
I'll leave it. That's okay. I just
Tell me your name.
Alejandro.
Okay. We'll try it. We'll see where we're at with that. Starts with A. Alex? Yeah? Is that right? Remember some things. Good morning. All right, that's enough being friendly. You can resume your normal antisocial behaviors, right? We're going to do this again tomorrow, okay? And tomorrow we'll be together in lecture, right? So again, I'm going to ask you to stand up, find somebody you don't know. right? So we'll do this again. So just hold on to all these thoughts, right? And we'll talk about why we did this, and you guys like all know the answers and stuff like that. Okay, so what's the crime I'm going to commit right off the bat?
Buy a textbook?
No, well, yeah, but that's normal.
That's normal.
I do something very bad, and I've tried over the years to fix this, and I can't fix it. I just assume that you've had me, and I keep going. So those of you that have had me, you know, right? You've been exposed to the full Mr. Balogh. You just know, right? Okay. I need you to take care of the people that haven't had me, right? I need you to reach over and pat them on the shoulder, tell them it's going to be okay when I'm yelling and frothing at the mouth and doing whatever it is I'm doing, right? Because we are going to do a speed run of all of this garbage we have to do at the beginning of the semester just so we just get into some physics, okay? So I apologize, really. For those of you that haven't had me, I really do apologize because you're going to be like, oh, what's going on, right? So to make this a little bit easier, we're gonna ask the people that have had me to answer a lot of questions. So think of this like your first quiz, those of you that had me before, right? How much do you remember from last semester? And I'm not talking about physics. I'm talking about like how the class runs and what things happen and do all that, right? All that kind of stuff, right? So let's jump into it, right? You need the textbook, you need the online homework system. If you bought it last semester, I have no idea what license you bought. If you bought like the 6-month version, you'll probably ask to pay like halfway through the semester, right? If you bought the year's version, it's all automagical, right? You log into Canvas, it should just carry over whatever your access was, okay? There is somewhere in Wiley Plus that you can find how many days left you have on your account or something. I don't know how to do it. We can figure it out together during GRASP or something if you're really worried about it. But if you haven't had me, the first time you interact with any kind of content on Canvas that's linked to the book, it'll pop up and extort money from you and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, do not go to wileyplus.com, right? Access everything through the course website on Canvas. That'll get you, if you go to wileyplus.com, you won't, it just doesn't work, okay? GRASP. Okay. Those of you that attended, and I won't embarrass you, okay, told me over and over again how valuable it was. Doubly so for this semester. And if you didn't have time for it last semester, try to make time for it this semester. Flat out, no joke, the first 2 units in this class are worse than all of Physics 2A. Like the first 2 units are hard, right? We're doing vectors and we're doing stuff you can't see, and it's electric fields and magnetic fields, and it's really cool stuff, but it is harder, right? Like mathematically, conceptually, all that kind of stuff. We assume coming out of 2A that you kind of know what you're doing, right? You got problem solving down, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to be spending more time on like the physics and things like that. We're forced into 3 dimensions a lot of the time. Where in 2A we could kind of cheat and not do, we always did sort of 2-dimensional things, not 3-dimensional things. So these first 2 units are like the big hump. Now, the second 2 units, not as bad. In fact, the 3rd unit is the easiest of all the units in both semesters, right? So we're just kind of, it's weirdly like super hard in the first 2 units, and then it sort of calms down after that. If you can plan time for GRASP, especially in this first half of the semester, to be here on Fridays in GRASP, getting help, you're going to need that help. Just the 3D, the vector, the nature of electric and magnetic fields, it can be pretty rough. So do take time out for that Fridays. We will be not in this room. We will be in 138, which is the last room on this hallway down there. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I get there at 7 o'clock in the morning, so if you've got 8 o'clock work, you want to sneak in, get a problem or 2 done, you can do that. GRASP technically is open 8 to 1, but I just do my office hours in there, all that kind of stuff. So make that plan, be there, get that tutoring. Canvas. What parts of the course website did my former students, what did you find useful? While I pull this up, just like, what can you warn people about? Think of somebody who's never had my class. What do they need to know? Nothing. They need to know nothing. The modules? Which of the modules were like the most like useful to you? Let's change this to this one. Okay. Like what modules? So like when you went in, did you ignore the big fancy color buttons?
No, course calendar and schedule is really helpful.
Course calendar and schedule. So should we just jump into that right away? Fall 2025. Well, there's my first mistake. I know I uploaded the
I was going to say, do you actually?
spring 2026. Here it is. I'll fix the link. I thought I fixed it in the modules, and that one was supposed to fix there too. Okay, what the heck is going on here? So the quick version of this is, if you haven't had me before, this is only the days that we're together. Right, so I try to get the entire semester on one page, right? So what's happening next Monday for lab? Nothing. We got a holiday, right? Okay. When's our first exam? 5th of February, right? So it's all there. How did I do last semester? Was I pretty spot on with this? No? I messed up totally?
Projectile motion and calorimetry.
Well, we didn't do those labs. But that was a benefit. I know, Brandon, you didn't like that, but everybody else did. So, like, I pretty much nailed it. We skipped projectile motion because of my back surgery, right? And then, and then calorimetry is just dumb anyway, so we skipped that one. But like,
It was pretty spot on.
we hit the exam days, didn't we?
Every single time.
Yeah, okay. And that's like my normal method, right? The exam dates are more or less set in stone unless something really bad happens to me. So you can count on these exam dates. Again, if you're on sports teams, band, whatever, you know you're going to be gone for something, you need to let me know ahead of time because those schedules should be put out way ahead of time. We got spring break this semester. Woo! Yeah. So there's the calendar. When's homework normally due? Saturdays, which is pretty typical, right? That was the way it was last semester, I think. Okay. Wednesday is always the week of the test, right?
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So if you haven't had me before, get in here. And if you're confused, ask somebody in the class, go, hey, or ask me, right? Something, but like, again, I'm assuming you guys kind of know this. The only due dates that are in Canvas are the homework and exam dates, right? So if you operate on the sidebar of Canvas where you just, what's the next thing that's due, right? Just realize it's not, I didn't tell Canvas that chapter 18 is happening on a certain day, right? That's what this calendar is for. Canvas is really difficult to work with in the calendaring system other than assignment due dates. So note to Mr. Balogh, fix the link to that one. All right, under the modules, was there anything else in modules that were like useful to you at all? The what?
Your lecture PDFs, just being able to.
Yeah, the lecture PDFs, being able to go there and pull up the PDFs from lecture. Okay, so explain to people that haven't had me before. What do we mean by lecture PDFs? What are those?
All the notes you take during your lecture course, everything of that is posted online already. So
After lecture, right? Yeah, so it's not like something you can get before lecture. Because a lot of times teachers say, I have a lecture PDF, and it's a fill in the blank as the teacher throws slides on. Oh my gosh, I just want to shoot them. But like, yeah, this is like after the fact. Anything I've written on the screen gets dumped into the PDF, right? Let's see. What?
I used your YouTube channel.
Were you one of my 500 and something subscribers?
Yes.
It's all about the views, man. Okay, so comments are still turned off on my videos, right? Did you guys get any ads?
I have
I
two
have
premium
premium,
sites.
so
Okay, all right. You're not supposed to get ads on my videos, but I think I can't stop it anymore. What are those videos?
those
Recording the
videos
lectures.
are of the lectures, but
It's not the stupid physics quote of the day
No.
or Mr. Balogh
I haven't
merch.
seen those yet.
Okay, all right. So you take the merch. So many of my students have said they'll buy merch, and I'm like, no, you people,
I really would.
buy textbooks. No, don't buy merch. So yeah, so it's recordings of my lectures, right? And I think of all the links besides the homework links in the course, that's the one that gets hit the most, right? And you do what you want with that, right? It's for you. It's not for me. And is it like beautifully edited and has like nice picture-in-picture of my face or anything? It's literally just like audio and what was on the screen, right?
Yeah.
And not everything that's on the screen. Like if I have to switch to show a video or something, that doesn't like show up.
Sometimes if you move in a certain way, the mic gets covered and you can't even hear you.
Right. So this is my mind. This is my mind. Right. Okay. So it's better than zero, but it's not
It's really helpful.
professionally made or any of that kind of stuff. Right. So it is what it is. All right. We did the calendar. You can go through it. And then everything else is structured the way it was before, right? Like if you want direct links to the subjects in the textbook, there they are. Most often students, you guys probably just went to the homework and then clicked the book link from the homework, right? Which is fine. All that kind of stuff. The pre-lecture videos, some people reported to me that they liked the pre-lecture videos. Other people said it was the worst thing that ever happened to them. So like, again, it totally depends on what you need and how you learn and all that sort of stuff. Those of you who had me before, who's responsible for your learning in this course? You guys, right? You are responsible for learning. What's my responsibility? Give you grades, right? Like legally, it doesn't say anything about teaching in my job description. Okay, so I'm not joking. Okay, so the responsibility's on you, and I am here to enable that. Right? I'm here to help, to be a cheerleader. But I need you to tell me when you're having trouble. Just don't sit there and suffer in silence. Right? So just let me help you. I know a guy. So let's see what else. What else do we need to warn? Homework. What do we have to warn people about homework?
It's terrible.
Besides that,
Yeah.
start early.
Yeah. It takes a couple hours.
What do you mean start early?
It'll take you a couple hours.
Well, for you, Brandon. Yeah. If you're starting on Saturday, what's going to go wrong?
You're not going to finish it.
Yeah, you just ChatGPT can finish it for you, right? Okay, depending. ChatGPT starts to go really bad in the electricity and magnetism. It just really has kind of no context for what's going on. Sometimes it gets it, sometimes it doesn't. While we're on the topic, right, of AIs and all that kind of stuff, is it illegal in my class to use AI? No. Right? What's that?
You can encourage it sometimes.
Sometimes.
Try it out.
Yeah, right? See how it goes, right? If it's helping you, great. But again, is homework about getting 100% green boxes? Ideally, it is. That's what you want at the end. But like, where am I going to find out if ChatGPT did all your homework for you? On the exams, right? So again, you are in the driver's seat. You've always been for every class, even though you have teachers that tell you you're not. You are always in the driver's seat. And by that, I mean you are responsible for figuring out whether or not you've learned something. How do you know if you've learned something? No, it's not on the cheat sheet. How do you know when you know something?
I got a good grade. I don't know.
When you can teach it to somebody else, right? So be explaining it to each other, right? Like when somebody comes to you and asks, I can't get this homework problem, it's not cheating to help them, right? Okay? A lot of people are turning to ChatGPT and others to try and shortcut that because they can't find a flesh face to talk to or whatever. But like, do that. Because you can't really explain it to ChatGPT, because ChatGPT will just or Claude or any of the others will just tell you how wonderful you are, right? You need feedback on whether or not what you're explaining is being understood by somebody, right? So try to find a way to do that. You can do it online. You don't have to be like physically present in the room, but like find a way to find out whether or not you know it. If you're going to try and fly solo, which I don't recommend, at least try a problem without the AI's help, right? Because then you're going to really find out, oh, I don't actually know what I'm doing here, right? So it'll help to some extent. Like I said, electricity and magnetism, it starts to kind of really, not so much hallucinate, but just to be flat out wrong, right? Again, it's not intelligent, right? It's just doing a statistical analysis of what words go together. And so I spend more time correcting AI, right? And that sort of thing. So, side. I'll go stand over here. I'm thinking about putting a question on the exam that is the output from an AI that's wrong and asking you guys to identify the mistake. How evil would that be? Pretty evil? Are some people afraid because I've never used AI and I don't know, I wouldn't be able to So this type of problem has a long history, right? And oftentimes it's written down as, such and such student has done a problem, here's their work, but there's a mistake, find the mistake, right? I'm just thinking of updating it for the current, fad of AI and all that kind of stuff. Because what is the problem like? What is it asking you to do? Or what is it asking you to know? Like if all the work's there, but there's a mistake in it, what are you now being asked to do?
Do the work.
Like actually, like you have to kind of go through it and you kind of have to know. Like for example, in 2A, projectile motion, like one of the favorite things to do is to make the mistake with the minus sign on the direction that something is going, right? Okay. And so like that type of question is finding out whether or not the student actually knows the physics behind all the math. Because you guys just want to memorize math, right? And make it go easy and fast and all that kind of stuff. But like this class is more about, do you understand the physics? Do you know problem solving? So let me know. I saw some fear on some faces out there, right? It's not about the AI. I just thought of updating a type of question that we already have in our toolbox with the new AI. Blame it on ChatGPT. What was useful in this homework system? What was not useful? These are all the conceptual. Here we go. Okay, so how good were the hints?
That was terrible.
They were awful, weren't they?
Really bad. Sometimes they insult you.
Yeah. Because basically they all say do physics. The Go tutorials,
I used those a few times. They were helpful.
right? They generally lead you step by step, right? And so how many points do I take off for using a hint or a Go tutorial?
0.
Nothing, right? Okay. And how many attempts do you have to answer the question? Unlimited. If you can't get ChatGPT to answer the question with an unlimited number of attempts, you got issues. Okay. That was a joke, by the way, right? Okay. Again, ChatGPT you can get help from, but like you need to know, because what's going to happen during the exam? Are you going to have your computer or your phone? No, right? And so what are you going to have to show me on the exam? That you know what you're doing, right? Okay. So focus on learning process. Not even like individual problems, but like what is the plot line through all of this chapter? What is the process? What are the important things I need to know? And then, because I expect you to be able to solve every electric field problem that comes your way, because if you've been focusing on process, the problem-solving method, then it's just a matter of time before you'll eventually get through the problem, right? Whereas if you just memorized, homework problems, not going to help. But Go tutorials were okay, right? The units were always a nightmare, weren't they?
No.
Yes, they were. Because sometimes instead of newtons, it would be like millinewtons. And I'd get these sad emails from people. Won't take my answer. 3 o'clock in the morning. Won't take my answer. And I'd just be like, units. Right? So yeah, watch out for the unit thing. I didn't do any symbolic stuff for you guys, pretty sure. What else? Like what are some frustrations you had that you kind of figured out how to do workarounds? with Wiley Plus? How did it stack up in your experience to like other systems you've had to use?
Better.
Was it better? Okay. Oh, the one that gets everybody. How do you do big numbers with like times 10 to the, so 6.87 times 10 to the, I don't know, negative 12.
6.87 E.
Yeah, you type 6.87 capital E, so technically minus 12, right? That's how the computer would interpret, right? If you try to do asterisk, 10, caret, whatever, it's going to go. So.
Sometimes it allowed it, sometimes it didn't.
Yeah. So do I like require sig figs? No. However, sometimes the programmers do, and they don't tell you. So if you think you're getting it right, and you're like, why isn't it not taking my answer? Change the significant digits. Let's see, in this problem, there are 3 significant digits, two significant digits technically, if I take the drawing into account. Okay, so if it's not taking 4 of your, 4 sig figs or whatever, try 3, try 2, right? And then email me when it doesn't. What's the assumption you should make whenever the box turns red? No, that was the wrong assumption. Right? I taught you guys to always assume that the software is wrong. You have this, maybe you were born with it. You assume that it's right because it's the internet or because it's the computer, right? That is wrong. You assume that you're right and it's wrong because now where's your brain? It's in problem solving mode, right? Whereas if you just say, oh, well, I'm wrong, I'm going to go jump off a tall building or something, right? It's a negative mind space, and that's not going to help you engage and get in there and start working on it. So make sure that you assume, even if it's a false assumption, and it's not arrogance, it's just a mental hack on your homework, right? I'm not saying do this with other people, right? When you're talking to, well, I'm right, you're wrong, right? So yeah. But like with the computer, computers don't deserve your emotions at all. Period. The end. All right. Anything else we need to warn about? Wiley Plus? People haven't had it?
Sometimes the textbooks make the homework a little bit more confusing than how you did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I try to warn, if you didn't hear that, sometimes the textbook is more confusing than Mr. Balogh. It's basically what Emma said. And I do try to kind of warn you guys, right? I'll say, don't read the text on this one. Okay? Doppler effect, don't read the text. Do it this way, right? And it's more straightforward than it needs to be. Not all texts are perfect.
That was like the case with everything, but instead of the book was Google. Like if you tried Googling something in the class, it wouldn't give you a different answer that you would give us.
Yeah, but that's,
Different equations. And
yeah. So there's lots of different ways of doing physics. So yeah. All right. Let's.
Would you recommend like getting a calculator from the library rather than like using like Desmos?
No, Desmos is fine. The problem is that you can't use Desmos on the exam, right? So if you need practice with using a calculator, then definitely, right? What's the one stipulation that your device, what's the one thing your device can't do during the exam? Yeah, it can't connect to the internet, and it can't connect to other devices in the room, right? So, and I wandered. Was I like really threatening last year? And I wandered around and I hit people with hammers when they broke the rules, or no? I just wandered around. I watch you, and I'll lean over and go, "What's going on?"
did you ever decide on the CX Inspire 2 or whatever it was called?
Oh yeah, no, yes, I don't know. There's like a new there's a new set of calculators out there that have like built-in Wolfram Alpha, they have like math engines in them that will just solve problems for you. It's not AI, but it's anyway. Honestly, it's never about the math in this class. You guys think it is, but it never is. It's about, can you communicate to me that you know what you're doing? Can I tell whether or not you know physics based on what's on the page? So, yeah. Jury's still out on that one, but you want to waste money on something like that? By all means. All right, where were we? Sorry, this is all just boring stuff, right? Even my iPad got bored here. Okay, here we go. Did it go? Okay, let's do the gnarly attendance thing. Oh, I just cut my recording in half. Oh well. What in two-way? Just be honest. When did you start your homework? If homework was due on Saturday, when were you starting your homework? Saturday?
Thursday, Friday.
In general?
Usually like Friday.
Friday?
Thursday or Friday.
Thursday or Friday? Okay.
I felt really crazy, maybe a Wednesday.
Right. With the first 2 units, I really strongly encourage you to get an early jump on it. Like, a lot of the stuff we're going to be going over needs incubation time in your brain, just for your brain to kind of sort out the 3 dimensions and all that kind of stuff, right? So even if you're going to fall into your old nasty habits of not doing it, starting it till Friday or whatever, right? Do try to at least look at the homework early so you have a little bit of context. Like when I'm going over stuff in class, you're like, oh wait, I think this might have been on the homework, and you can start linking stuff in your brain, right? Honestly, when we get to Unit 3, you're going to be like, I'll do my homework Saturday, right? But I mean, even then, you get rewarded for time on task here, right? This is the one thing that people always told me when they came, I'm failing. I was like, well, how much homework are you doing? Well, I'm doing a couple hours. All right, double it. And they're like, oh. I'm like, honestly, I know it's a big ask, right? With everything that's going on in your life. But if you spend, okay, what's the hack for this class? What's the C? Everybody wants a hack, right? Life hack, a shortcut that makes everything wonderful. Do the work. Like that's always the hack. Hacks are dumb. I hate them, right? Okay? Just do the work. Spend the time. How do you know something? That's how you know something. But how do you know something initially? You have to do it. Like there's no silver bullet or magic or anything, right? I always say it over and over again. Knowing is how you know stuff. How do you know when you've got something wrong? You do it wrong, right? Okay, right? So knowing is how you know stuff, and giving yourself the time to start knowing is really, really important, right? So I really hope that you spend a good chunk of time, especially in the beginning, right? It'll lighten up towards the end, right? Like the second half is better than the first half. So a lot of times, chemistry, the classes like just ramp up in their difficulty all the way through to the end, right? Okay? This class doesn't do that. I mean, 2A didn't really, 2A got like difficult, first was okay, middle 2 units were like, and then it sort of tailed off a little bit, right? So this one is just like, and then, like on a scale from 1 to 10, how hard was 2A, like overall?
It's been a long time.
Shut up, Brandon. 12? 6, 7? Yeah, I think 2A is like a 7. 6.5 or a 7, right? The first half of 2B is like a 14. Yeah, it's like, it just comes out, it's just like, wham. You guys are fortunate because you had 2A hopefully last semester, right? Did you have it a while back?
2008.
Okay, you're in trouble. I'm going to help you, right? But like the coming off the summer. Yeah. The psychic trauma was amazing. Anyway, right? So not everybody spends 12 hours per week. Some spend more. A lot of you spend less. But that's basically sort of the ballpark for a 4-unit class. Okay. Differences from last semester. There's only 4 units this time. So last semester we had 5 units. We only have 4 units, so that's only 4 exams this time. I'm inching closer to what you're going to experience after you transfer, okay? Where you will be down to classes where your grade depends on a midterm and a final. I had classes, I don't think these exist anymore, but I had classes where you only took a final and that was it. That was your entire grade, okay? So like the hand holding a little bit, it's kind of coming off, but 4 units is sort of the natural thing. The note page, the cheat sheet, whatever it is you want to call it, right? What's that all about? Explain to somebody that hasn't had me what that is.
You get a piece of printer paper, and you can put whatever you want on it. You can bring that to your exam, and that's the one thing you get.
Right? Calculator,
Calculator, pencil.
your summary sheet, something to write with, okay? And that's what you get, right? What do you want on that cheat sheet? Equations, because I don't give equations during an exam. Anything else? A lot of you discovered that the more you put on it, the less useful it was. Some of you were like, that was me, right? Okay. Those of you that are thinking, great, I'm going to leave mine blank and get an A, that doesn't work either. Okay, right? Because you're like, it's your brain on a page. Like the thing, if you're sitting there and you know that your brain's going to go blank, because as soon as you read a question, all the anxiety starts to settle in, all that kind of stuff. What safety blanket do you want to have with you to help you remember, to jog your memory, that kind of stuff, right? So it's for you. It's not for me. Do I grade them? Do I look at them?
Yes.
Yeah, but only after I've done all the grading, right? Because I just want to see what's in your brain. And last semester, in my professional opinion, majority of my students were putting too much on the cheat sheet. Okay? And I asked some of you, like, how much of this did you use? And you look at me like, 3 things, Mr. Bailey. Right? But sometimes just the exercise of summarizing all that stuff and getting it onto a single page is enough. Right? And then maybe you don't need to look at it, or you just looked at it a little bit. Okay? So, yeah, it's there for you. It's just, yeah. And I didn't have to eat anybody last semester because they had unauthorized exams or unauthorized devices. So well done on your cheating or good job on your integrity, one of the two. This is not different. This was the same as last semester. Okay? What's the scary number? The exams. What's the important number? The homework, right? And how did I do on my goal of over-preparing you for exams? Pretty good, right? Some people accuse me of being just too easy on exams,
Yes, you were.
right? And Brandon, please don't kill Brandon. He's a good guy, right? And I just ignore him most of the time, okay? But I try to over-prepare you on the homework, right? Make the homework hard. And then when you waltz in, many of you, not some, many of you last semester, I love you, made problems too hard. Like flat out, I'm like, wow. Just trying to get it to fit into that one homework problem that lodged in your brain, right? Okay, when in fact the problem was easier than that, right? So read the problem, try to understand what's asking you, try not to make it harder than it needs to be, okay? Were many of you surprised at your grades? Some people came up and were like, Mr. Balogh, how did I pull that off? Who's the toughest grader in this class?
Myself.
You, right? Okay. And I told you guys over and over again last semester, so grade me on this. How well did I do on I'm on your side? It's you and me versus physics. Is that what you felt?
Yeah.
Okay. So for those of you that haven't had me, I'm deadly serious about that. It is you and me versus physics. Now, is there a point where I have to gauge or rate or grade what's in your head? Yes. And you will feel judged, right? Because I'll come and I'll say, well, what's on the page here tells me that there isn't anything in your brain about this, right? But all those other times when I'm not directly grading you on an exam, right? It's you and me versus physics, right? And I'm here to help. So take advantage of that in whatever way you think you can. Just don't jump me in the alleyway or key my car, slash my tires, or whatever. Did I ever accept late homework? None of you emailed me asking for extra time? There were a few of you. The answer is no, right? Why is the answer no? I just post the key immediately, like automatically posts the key. I know you guys could always chat GPT the key or whatever. It's fine. But like, I just don't take late homework. I drop the 2 lowest scores instead, right? So then that happens automatically in Canvas as soon as the 3rd homework score goes in. Many of you panicked in Canvas because Canvas like real-time updates your grades. So like when you start your homework score is like really low, right? Don't panic. I gotta check something real quick. I did all this like last semester, which was more than a day ago, so my brain doesn't remember it. I gotta check the syllabus really quick. There's been some changes to the syllabus. You might want to go through and see, but I want to check and see if there's this one change. Like the kind of the major bones of the class, nothing shifted. But where did I do it? Did I do it? That's all there. I know you can't see anything. Homework, writing, no, exam makeup. Yeah. Okay. I updated the syllabus. Your chances for making up the exams are now very limited. Not because I've changed my policy, but because the campus has closed off all of the services we had, like the testing center and all that kind of stuff, right? This kind of happened within the first 3 or 4 weeks of last semester. And so because of that, you'll read in the syllabus, your only day to make up an exam if you miss it is the next day. So if you've got something going where you got to miss like Thursday and Friday, you need to let me know ahead of time. Of course, if it's an emergency or whatever, a quick email, Mr. Bale, I'm in the emergency room, I'll contact you later, right? Like just something, right? Or even after the fact, if it's really bad, right? We'll figure it out. But don't miss the exam dates. Like just don't, okay? I know like you're sick and it sucks to have to take an exam when you're sick. And we don't want to expose anybody else. So wear a mask, right? Like we're back to that point where like pre-COVID, we just need to do some things even when we're sick, right? And so I know it sucks. Contact me, but if you're not like bleeding out in the hospital, I'm going to be basically, no, come take the exam, right? If we do shift it that one day, it will be the makeup version and it'll be worse, right? So just try everything you can. I remember taking exams when I was just sick as a dog, feverish, couldn't remember my name, didn't know what my student ID number was. They were asking me, are you okay at the testing center, right? Like, and I'm just like, I'm just a physics student. They're like, okay, right? And they give me a random physics exam, and I just take it, right? So it sucks. It's not the end of the world to underperform on an exam, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I did update the syllabus, right, to say that basically because of reduction in services, I can really only give you makeup exams the day after the exam, and it can only be done in GRASP. So like the window's really tight. You have to make it up between 7 and the last start time would be 11 a.m., right? Because you get 70 minutes, right? So it's just a really narrow makeup. It's not like I can do it on Monday or do it Friday afternoon or anything like that, okay? If you know you're going to be gone because of Teams or whatever, you've got work training, something's happening, just contact me. Maybe I'll give you an exam the day before, right? I'd almost much rather do that than give you makeup penalties, right? So just communicate with me. But do realize that like my hands are really tied now when it comes to being able to offer makeups. I'm required to offer makeups, but there's no requirements on when. So you're going to have to do it during my office hours on Fridays if you make it up. But don't make it up. Like you don't want that penalty to your score, all that kind of stuff. So check the syllabus for more information. All right. I know you guys have been sitting for a while. I'm sorry. Nobody uses phones anymore, right? You allowed to use tech in my class?
Calculators.
Phones, laptops, iPads?
As long as it's for physics.
Yeah. Just be on task, right? Okay. If you're having trouble staying on task when your phone comes out, come talk to me, right? I can help you configure your phone so it's not distracting you while you're in class, all that kind of stuff, right? We know what physics is. So those are the 4 units: electricity, magnetism, optics, and modern physics. Okay. Modern physics does have relativity, quantum mechanics, nuclear physics, particle physics, and cosmology in it. And I know like quantum mechanics is supposed to be hard and all that kind of stuff. We don't have the time or the math to make it hard. We do have the time to justify chemistry. Okay. So in that last unit, it's like this huge kind of grab bag of stuff, right? But the 4 main units are electricity, magnetism, optics, and modern physics. Optics is by far and away the easiest of all the units in all of physics 2 series. And electricity and magnetism are both very difficult. And in each of the first 2 units, the first chapter is like the hardest, sometimes the second one, and then it kind of scales down and is a little bit easier. And then again, as we start magnetism, boom, it's like hard, and then it kind of comes down. Because like in electricity, we start with electric fields and charges and all that kind of stuff, and we end with circuits. And circuits is easier than fields, right? We kind of do the same thing with magnetism, where we end up in AC circuits and that kind of stuff. So there's sort of these like spikes of difficulty, but the first 2 units really are rough. And I'm saying that not because I sit there and go, I'm going to kill him. No, right? It's the nature of the physics. They happened, like electricity, magnetism, and optics are my 3 favorite topics in all of physics, like flat out, okay? But, and that, again, makes me giddy, and usually when teachers get happy about a subject, it gets harder, right? Because we can't help ourselves. We have to talk about everything, right? So, but like, it's hard in and of itself, okay? How much did you guys like Newton's laws and torque from last semester? They were hard, weren't they? You remember free body diagrams? Was it your class? Was there a penguin problem in your homework? Did I keep remembering that one wrong? Like a penguin in a box or something?
No.
No, that wasn't you guys? Was that the 4 series? Did we have a Ford Bronco last semester? That was us, right? Yeah. Right. Anyway, yeah, it's like worse than that stuff. Okay, for some reason I don't have a break card on here. Let's take a break. You guys have been sitting down long enough. It's hot in here. 9 o'clock, 4 minutes. Just stretch, go to the restroom, come back, and we will get the lab portion out of the way. Those of you that need to add coming up right now.
You said to tackle you.
Yeah, tackle me. All right, welcome back. Other things that I forgot that I had updated in the syllabus. So the grading stuff, that stayed the same. All the percentages stays the same. I put in sections that defines like a what do they call this? No.
Learning outcomes.
It's the thing that the teacher tells you how to get a full points on a assignment. Rubric. I had a really good break. I put a rubric for what a 2, a 1, and a 0 means. Right? As well as I could, because you guys know that like a 1 point is, the 1 point's kind of iffy, right? But like basically to get a 2, it has to be correct, necessary, units correct, and the numerical answer has to be correct. A 1 will be if any one of those things is missing, okay? And a 0 is like you made fundamental physics mistakes, okay? I also put the scale for the exam autopsy like in the syllabus, right? because I used to like sometimes change it, but I haven't changed it in years. So I finally decided to just put it in the syllabus. So I'll put it up on the board when we do exam autopsies and stuff. But yeah.
On the 2, you said correct numerical answer, but sometimes you would give a 2 if the calculator, like if it wasn't the right answer.
Let's see. Did I thought I said.
Numerical answer is correct.
I mean, sometimes you may see a -0, meaning I've awarded full credit for the problem, even though your numerical answer is different than the key, right? Because sometimes the numerical doesn't match exactly, right? And I'm looking at it going, no, you did this right. And I'm lazy and I don't want to figure out where your math mistake was, right? Right. So I did put that little caveat. I carved it out for the 2 score, right? So technically a -0 score. Right. So anyway, those sections are in the syllabus, and if you ask me about them, I might just say, what's in the syllabus? Okay. What were we doing? Index cards. Let's see. What are these for? Lab groups, right? So when you come in, what are you going to be looking for? You're going to be looking for your card. So make sure that you can identify your card from a distance. I do need your first and last name on it so I can keep track, but beyond that, put some decorations on it that won't offend anybody else. And when you come in, you're going to look for your card. That's where you're going to be sitting, and it's the people you're going to be working with. What are the pros to this situation? Meet new people. Groups change every time, right? Okay, what are the cons? Have to meet new people. Groups change every time, right? Like it's a wash. So if you do have a problem with somebody in the class, you need to let me know ahead of time, and I can work on stacking the deck. So, but generally, it's a random shuffle of the cards, and I deal them out. We don't use the middle tables, right? We use the outside tables when we're using equipment. Your bags and stuff need to go up in here. And we really need to be very careful about drinks, right? Today, it's kind of okay for your water bottles and things to be out. Sticky drinks are a real problem because our janitorial staff is way understaffed. It takes forever for them to get here, and we don't have a mop. So let's just keep it to water, like even on days like this, or grasp or something like that. And any like coffee with creamer and sugar in it, or anything that's going to be sticky, please drink it outside. But especially when we have equipment out, right? Not even water bottles at the table.
So I had a question. So like for the labs, are we going to be doing like a lot of like physical like stuff? Like in some labs I've taken in other classes, they've been like just
Here's a worksheet and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The answer is we're going to do both. So 2B, we do have physical, like you'll be measuring stuff and building circuits and that kind of thing. But I'd say there's less of that than there was in 2A. Okay. Let's see, how does this work? There are, especially towards the end, so in modern physics, we need to do things at the speed of light. We need to work with individual atoms and that kind of stuff. And so I don't know how good you guys are at running at the speed of light, but I can't do it anymore. So we tend to we might watch videos and analyze them. We might have worksheets to do, like especially with relativity. You're going to be doing a ton of calculations, and so we'll just have whole labs where you're just going through calculations, arguing stuff. So that does happen a little bit more than it does in 2A. But so we're kind of almost half and half, especially kind of towards the end. We're lecturing a lot in lab. I don't like lecturing in lab because I have to lecture twice in the same day on the same thing, and it's boring to me. But it's all in the calendar. If you see like a lab with a number, that means there's equipment, generally. If it just says lab or it says lab lecture, then you kind of know what's going on. All right, so What's the goal with lab? When you walk out that door, what's supposed to be done?
The lab.
The lab. By what does that mean?
Like the whole thing's done.
The whole thing's done, right? Is it pretty?
No.
No.
It's really
Is it correct?
yes.
Yes, as far as I'm concerned, right? And what is Mr. Balogh's like sole desire for you when you walk out that door? You're responsible for learning something. What do I want your score to be on the exam or the lab? 10 out of 10. I want it to be 100 on the exam too, but on the lab, I want it to be 10 out of 10 when you're walking out that door, right? Why? It's not free points. You work hard. Why? Why do I want you with a good score going out of that door? Ideally, that would be great, but that's not why. Where do you need help? Where's your grade going to suffer? On the exams, right? So we're trying to like buffer your grade, right? Okay. How hard is it to get full credit on quizzes?
Kind of.
No. No, it's not. What do you have to do to get full credit on quizzes? Be here, right? Do the group quizzes, right? Okay, that kind of stuff, right? You probably miss the individuals, but you get the groups. It'll be fine, right? Okay. At the end of the semester, people are going, Mr. Balough, I don't have all my sheets. I don't care. You got full credit, right? You're still here. You're breathing. You're doing good, right? The only reason there's points on quizzes is because students ignore it unless there's points on it, right? The lab points, we're trying to reinforce what's going on in lecture, ideally giving you hands-on learning opportunities for the stuff that's going on. It's kind of hard to do at light speed. But like, we really want you to, it's a great time when we can be together and I can be helping you in the moment, right? Because we've got 3 hours to do it together, which we don't have in lecture. But the idea, and how do we accomplish that 10 out of 10 by the time you're walking out of the door? Do you remember? What do you do when you think you're done? The whole group has to be ready, right? But like, you call me over and what happens?
You look over it.
I grade one right in front of everybody, don't I? And what do I do? And if something's not right, what do I do? I just take my lighter out, I burn it right there, and you get a 0? No, what happens? I tell you what's wrong, I walk away, everybody corrects it, I come back, I do the same thing and we repeat that process until you get a 10 out of 10, right? Or we run out of time, one of the two, okay? So that's sort of the loose process. You're here for generally most of the time. I won't lecture, if it's a lecture lab, I won't lecture for more than an hour and a half because your brain fills in 20 minutes, okay? An hour and 15-minute lecture is a crime, but it's what they gave us, right? So, and those of you who had me before, you know I'm manipulating you, right? I told you, I admitted this to you guys last time, right? I know manipulation carries all kinds of negative connotations and that sort of stuff, right? But the manipulations I'm doing in lecture are to help your brain stay focused for an hour and 15 minutes. I've had people walk out of my class saying one of two things. I am so tired, I need to go lie down. Or, I can't believe that was an hour and 15 minutes. It felt shorter. Which for physics class, I'm like, usually it feels longer. No, but like, the psychological tricks I can pull with your attention, and again, I met many of you last semester, I just told you right in front of the class what I was doing, right? Is designed to help you through that hour and 15 minutes. So I try not to, I can't do it for 2 hours. I could talk for 2 hours. People were asking me earlier, can't we just do like a 4-week or a 6-week physics? I can do that. No problem. You guys, no, not going to happen. There's a tardy policy for lab. I nailed some people on it last semester. First time I try to give some leeway, but do try to be here on time. You guys did a great job this morning. Keep it up. I know 8 o'clock, all that kind of stuff, right? But like, just for the labs, try to be here on time because safety, if there's no equipment, if there's no safety issue, I don't make a big deal out of it, right? But if I've talked about the equipment and I don't want to repeat myself and you're slowing down your group because now you don't know what's going on, try to give some incentive to be here on time. Homework questions after class is really hard, like before and after. Just like I'm prepping, I'm doing things. Even if it looks like I'm not doing anything, I'm probably psychologically trying to decompress for the next thing. Between this lab and the next lab, I think this lab, what's this? It's like 11:05 is weird scheduled time, something like that. 10:45 is usually when I let you out, because that's what I'm used to. They gave us a weird timing because of all the Monday holidays, right? We have MLK, we have President's Day, and like the state has to have a certain number of contact hours, and the state can go take a long walk off of a short pier. I just like, don't care, right? So I think of this lab as going from 8 to 10:50. I'm usually trying to get you out the door by 10:45. A lot of times we might end earlier and you're done 10 out of 10, get out of here, right? If there's extra time in lab and you want to stay and get help on your homework, please, yes, absolutely, right? But once like 11 o'clock hits, I've got a half hour to like get lunch, go to the bathroom, reset for the 11:30 lab that's coming in. And I'll probably kick you out and I'll wander off and go be not a physicist for 20 minutes, right? So, but like especially lecture, because as soon as you guys get out of lecture tomorrow, the 2A students are coming in, right? And I'm having to like, my brain has to shift from 2B to 2A, which is a lot harder than it sounds. Especially because for 22 years, 2A was first. I'm going to walk in tomorrow morning, I'm going to start talking about 2A stuff, and you guys are going to be like, so bad. Oh, that reminds me. If any of you are willing and available to hang out after lecture tomorrow, I would like you guys to tell the 2A students stuff. So if you have it, if you don't have to get to another class and you're willing to stand up in front of a bunch of strangers and let them ask you questions, I'm too old to be believed anymore. Okay? I'm an old white guy. Nobody pays attention to me. Okay? So if you guys say that you need to pay attention to your cheat sheet or do your homework or whatever, right? They believe you. So I'm just asking for help. If you're willing to stay afterwards, that would be tomorrow, just tomorrow. And like what I'll do is I'll make them do that 5 minutes of like getting to know that quiz thing, and then we're going to go straight into you guys telling you what to do. As many or as few as you who want to be there. You guys know how to do email and wireless and all that. What's like the fastest way to get a hold of me? Email. Yeah, it's just like, right? Secret hack for the course, I guess. I'm checking my email a lot between like 11 and 1. That's sort of like I control my time very tightly, but 11 to 1 is where email gets precedence and other things get pushed down the list. But like after 1 o'clock, it's more like grading. And then like especially after 4 or 5 o'clock, it's family. I don't even look at work at all, right? So like 11 to 1, sometimes I do triage with my email, medical term, but like in the morning, I'll do a really quick glance at my email. And if there's people bleeding out in the email, I'll elevate them no matter what time they emailed me, right? And other people that are just complaining about a homework problem get suppressed till 11 or whatever. But like, I think I did a pretty good job getting back to you, right? Letting you know what was going on, all that kind of stuff. We did that. Lab safety. So in here, yeah, I don't have it. We're going to be using electricity in here, okay? And so electricity has its own sort of safety considerations that we need to talk about. And when we get into those labs, which will be, so let's see. Next week, we don't have lab, right? Because of the holiday. And so our very first lab of just like playing with charges and things like that is actually like 2 weeks late compared to when we were talking about it in lecture. It's just the nature of we haven't learned anything yet, so we can't do it today. and we've got to wait, right? And then we got our circuits lab. So we're a little bit thrown off at the beginning in the spring semester. Not much we can do about that. But when we get to electrical circuits and electrical safety, we'll teach you how to be safe around electricity. Magnetism isn't not going to hurt you. And then optics is just fun. No lasers. Don't look into your laser with your remaining eye. And then modern physics will irradiate you. It'll be fun. Nobody will turn into the Hulk. Doesn't work that way. All right. Evacuation. Let's just review evacuations really quick. If they ask us to evacuate, where are we supposed to go first? Anybody remember? Yeah, out that door and towards the main hallway, okay? I'm banking on the main hallway being on fire. Like I think if there's going to be a problem in this building, chemistry will have set the building on fire and it's coming down the main hallway, right? Okay, students with their hair on fire running out of chemistry, whatever, right? Okay, so what's the alternate? Go out the door and go that way, right? Because we can get out the building that way. If both of those, for whatever reason, are blocked, right? We can go out this back door and we have a big garage door we're going to walk through to get out of the building, okay? Garage door takes about 5 years to open. We'll be fine. Okay, it takes like a full 90 seconds for it to get to its full height. So those are our three main ways of evacuating if we're ever asked to evacuate. A lot of our evacuations, we haven't had one in this building yet. Maybe I'll throw the fire alarm just for fun. You didn't hear that. And but most of them are go out and then wait and then we'll come back in, right? Okay. But if they tell us to leave, I'll let you know. In all cases, as long as there isn't absolute panic, take your bag with you, right? You can leave your lab, but grab your calculator, phone, your personal items in your bags, and take them with you, because I can't guarantee they'll let us back in, right? If there's an absolute panic, don't worry about your bags. We'll sort that out later, right? Shelter in place, right? We can lock the doors from the inside. And if we have time, we now have, in this bin right here, we'll use these for optics, but these are black curtains that go over those doors, right? So we can completely block out line of sight if we need to, okay? Takes me with a ladder, it takes about 2 minutes to get these up. But if I can stand on your shoulders, we'll get these up in no time whatsoever, right? And they're held on by magnets. Right, so they just kind of go up and magnets go on the metal. And I bet you we, in 20 to 30 seconds, can get one of these up, just 2 people. And so we could have those covered pretty quickly. Plus, we can also get into the back area if we need more space between us and the rest of the world, which is what I always prefer. Right, I think that's it for your safety. Do you guys remember Lab 1 last semester? It was math review, right? No different.
Oh,
okay, right? Is this thing right here Lab 1? No. What is this?
That is the entire.
It's the entire unit, right? So this has Lab 1, 3, and 4. Again, we're skipping 2, right? Okay. So again, internal numbering being what it is. We didn't update this, did we? Oh, even this one says Lab 1 electrostatic charge. Isn't that's wonderful? Yeah, don't pay attention to the numbers. We have an internal numbering system that's broken. All right, but yeah, so today's the math review. Let me hand these out. We'll go over really quickly kind of what's expected and all that kind of stuff, and then we can get into it. 3 of you here. Please separate out the labs, right? They're just stapled for the convenience of handing them out. But I do not want to see you turning in Lab 1 with all 4. Hey, I counted just right. With all 4 of the labs. 3 of the labs. All right. Lab number 1. Problem number 1, 3 equations with 3 unknowns. It's an algebra nightmare. Number 2, take a look at number 2. I'm going to be really serious about this. So last semester I was pseudo-serious about this. This semester, deadly serious about this. If you come up to me and ask me how many meters there are in a kilometer, the answer is going to be, you should know that by now. Okay? So these metric prefixes, like there's more on this table than you really need to know. Okay? Right? So the chief ones, okay? As a matter of fact, you can cross out tera, hecto, deca, deci. This is like the full table, right? But like tera, I mean, tera is being used a little bit more. Terabytes, that kind of stuff, right? But we never use hecto, deca, or deci. Those are not in common usage anymore. And then pico and femto rather, those not as necessary. I will drop them. I'll say them in class. But if you came up to me and say, Mr. Balogh, what's a picometer? I'd have mercy on you because it's not in common usage. But like hecto, deca, and deci are never used anymore. Technically they're there, but like we just don't use those anymore. Because we go from centimeters straight to meters and then kilometers, right? So kilos definitely necessary in there. But yeah, you really need to know your prefixes and like kind of how to convert between them, right? So like if I have a number, I could do that one, but that would be a pico. Let's do 3.18 times 10 to the minus 6, okay? You really need to get to the point where you can see this as 3.18 micrometers, whatever the unit is, right? Because this symbol, this micro right here, means times 10 to the minus 6. Like it's a drop-in replacement for that, right? And so if I give you a number that is 6.11, I don't know, mega Tesla, well, that would be bad. What do you put in for the mega? Times 10 to the 6th, right? So if you're not going to memorize those, I don't require memorization, where are you going to put these so you know them all the time? On your summary sheets, on your cheat sheets, right? And you're just going to be sad cookie, and I'm going to tear up during the exam when you come to Mr. Balogh, how many centimeters are there in a meter? I'm going to be like, I told you I'm not going to tell you, right? So problem number 2 is, can you work through that? Problem number 3 is a vector problem, disguised as with silly names. Problem number 4. Number 4 is an algebra problem, okay? But you may not be used to like the symbolism here that we're trying to talk about. First of all, delta t and delta t naught are different. They are not the same. Your goal in problem number 4 is to get an answer for what delta t is. Is that right? What is delta t? Okay. And whatever ends up over here, okay, the only things you're allowed to have in it are delta t naught, v, and c. So since it starts with a capital D, what do you think you want to do with that? Got to get rid of it somehow. And I've given you 2 equations with a way to talk between them, right? So the idea there is you're putting 2 equations together to get delta t. And the only symbol, you can have numbers, but the only symbols you can have are delta t naught, v, and c in the answer. It's 9:30, so I don't know, like 10:15 or so, I refuse to answer any math questions. I'll clarify, like if you're not sure what the question is asking you, right? But if you come up to me, Mr. Balogh, how do I do a vector? I'm going to be like, 2A. Right? Maybe I'll start helping you after 10:15 or so. But help each other. There should be a lot of noise in here as you remind each other or show each other what you're doing, that kind of thing, right? So I hope there's a lot of noise and a lot of help. Use your phones, use your computers, whatever, to try and remember how to do some of this math.